So the first mistake you're currently making as an entrepreneur who wants to improve spoken English is consuming too much information. So you probably watch videos from Alex Hormozy, from all these entrepreneurs. You're probably watching me, some other guys on YouTube, how to improve your English and stuff like that. You're watching a lot of podcasts, maybe TV shows, maybe Instagram reels and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of information. And I mean, that's good. That has helped you improve your English in the past. And so you've learned a lot, you've consumed a lot, but well, the problem is you want to talk to international clients and you suck. Why? Because you're still consuming information. It's like, of course, consuming information has helped you to understand people. That's good. But that's only half of the job, right? It cannot help you with actually speaking. So, I mean, of course, it can help you because you will be able to understand and you will be able to speak a bit better because you can copy the way other people speak, but you still cannot articulate your thoughts fluently. And so, in order to do that, you need to consume actively. So, it's not even about speaking, it's just about consuming actively. So, for example, instead of watching a TV show, you can watch an educational video and consume this video actively. Take notes, create a mind map, right? So this is what I did right now. I created like some kind of like a small mind map or just a few notes here, right? And I talk about them on camera. So for example, I create a lot of other mind maps. So for example, this one. So I created a mind map for the book Think and Grow Rich when I was reading it, as you can see, and I have these thoughts structured in a simple mind map. So I took some notes. I took a lot of notes inside my notebook. I cannot show it to you right now, but like I just simply take some notes when I find something interesting, right? So when I do that, I consume actively. And you want to do the same thing. Instead of simply consuming TV shows, I mean, I also sometimes like watch TV shows, if I'm being honest, right? I don't watch TikTok or Instagram or something else. I just simply wanted to watch like one TV show that I really enjoyed watching, right? It's like I'm not consuming a lot of content every day, right? I just simply maybe watch like just a few episodes per week, right? And I just simply wanted to finish this one specific TV show, which was called Ted Lasso, okay? And like I'm not gonna watch any TV shows from now on because this is just pointless. For me, watching any kinds of TV shows would be stupid because I waste my time. I don't improve my English. Of course, I get some reference, I get some slang words from these TV shows, but what's the point of that? You want to speak English with your clients. You want to present yourself professionally, right? You don't want to learn these freaking slang words, right? You probably watch these videos by Lingua Marina or someone else on YouTube or any other like English YouTube channel that talk about yeah top 10 English slang words. Why do you need to learn that? You need to learn how to actually speak in English. And that's a completely different skill, right? It's not about learning top 10 slang words or it's not about learning 100 vocabulary lists or something, right? You need to take notes on educational content that resonates with you. So, for example, you watch Alex Hormozy or any other entrepreneur or someone who talks about business, for example, or about self-improvement, and then you take notes on what they say, on what you found interesting, right? So you can remember this and you can revise this information and go through it later. And so it's not about actually taking notes so you can remember everything, right? It's about strengthening the pathways in your brain. So it's a bit different. What I mean by this is that here I create a mind map. So here one thing leads to another, and then that thing leads to another. And so what it means is that I have three neurons in my brain that are connected together in a certain way. And so when they're connected in a certain way, I can form a sentence, right? Or I can form like a coherent uh, text, right? Or I can form a coherent speech. And so here I there's like a lot of different ways I categorize information. I add like some emojis, I make it fun, I add some arrows here and there, right? And when I do that, well, the pathways in my brain get strengthened. And as a result, I improve my English and I speak better and I can articulate my thoughts better because one thing is more important than another, for example. For example, here, this text is bigger than the small text, right? So it basically means that this is more important than this. And in my brain will understand it the same way. you will understand that the most important thing is desire plus faith equals achievement, whatever that means, right? You probably understand that you need to take notes and you need to make it cool. So if you don't make it cool and if it looks shitty, then you're not going to strengthen the pathways in your brain and you're not going to speak fluently and articulately because that's your goal. You probably want to present yourself, you probably want to present some kind of like a product, or you want to go on group calls and lead these group calls in English. You want to become a leader, or maybe you just want to communicate with your colleagues in English. And sometimes you do need to present something. And so you want to articulate your thoughts the best way possible. If you cannot do that, guess what? You cannot get paid, right? So then the second problem is not speaking. Of course, it's important to actively consume information, but you want to actually practice speaking. And so there are two ways to do that. The first one is just simply going on calls with other people. And pretty soon I'm going to make a video. It's going to be called How to Kill Nervousness and Speak Fluent English. So you can click on it and I'll explain in details how to go on calls with people and how to practice your English this way and how to find your speaking partner, right? Sorry for my bad English. And then the second thing you can do is record yourself on camera, like I'm doing right now. So the process is simple. You consume some kind of information, you take notes on this information, just like I did here. I read a book, and then you can just record yourself on camera speaking about this information. So this is the second step, which is going to be called speak, right? So the first one is consume, then speak, and then what's the last step is to get feedback, right? It's very simple. So you speak, you have this 10-minute video, and then you just rewatch this video and understand how you can improve the next time. Or you can send this video to your teacher, to your English teacher, to your friend, to me, and get feedback. So when you get feedback on your video, you improve. And the next time you're recording a video, it becomes better and better and better and better with every video. And then the third thing is that English is not a side quest. English is the main quest. If you treat English like a side quest, if you think that, oh, well, I can just spend like 1 hour a day learning English and that's fine, you're not going to become fluent. You need to spend more time. Of course, if you're consistent and you spend 1 hour every day and you're spending like a really good 1 hour on English, then it becomes better. But if you neglect it and you do it just like once a week, or you're practicing your English like maybe 2 times per week, or I don't know, 3 times, maybe 5 times a week on one day, maybe you're just like watching one TV show, then you're not going to get good at it. You want to spend more time. I even recorded a video explain how I learned my English 14 hours a day. I mean, it's not my English, but I recorded a video explaining how I learned English 14 hours a day, okay? I literally spent 14 hours every day for a few months, okay? So when I did that, I wasn't treating English like a side quest. I was literally treating it like a main quest. So when I accomplished this goal of speaking fluently in English, it kind of became a side quest, but I'm speaking every day. And so I'm still improving my English, even without thinking about improving my English, if that makes sense. So in the beginning, it should be a main quest, but then it can become a side quest. But it can become a side quest only when you've practiced for a long time. And the next thing you want to understand is that English is not a hard skill. It's a soft skill. So there are two types of skills, hard skills and soft skills. And so hard skills, it could be mathematics, it could be programming, it could be learning how to manage a community, right? Or learning how to manage finances or something like that. But English is a soft skill. You're speaking English, you're performing in English, right? So the next time you're speaking to somebody, it's not about trying to find the right word in order to explain your idea. It's about just like expressing yourself and not really thinking while you're speaking. So the thing about hard skills is when you are, for example, doing some kind of math, you're thinking about how you can solve this mathematical equation, right? But when you are doing something in English, it's not about thinking. It's like you need to turn off your freaking brain and just perform. Right now, when I communicate and when I speak on camera or on calls, I simply have no thoughts in my brain. I just simply speak, if that makes sense, right? It's like my brain is empty, but my mouth is full with words, and I just want to talk. I just want to talk, 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 right? It's about performing. It's not about thinking about how to perform, right? If that makes sense. If you've ever meditated before, you will understand what I mean. So when you're meditating, you want to, like, you don't want to avoid thinking, but you want to let go of your thoughts and just be in the present moment. So the same thing is here. If you want to speak good English, you just want to be in the present moment. So we probably have been anxious in your native language before, and it's just because you were thinking about, oh, what should I say, right? So the same thing is with English. Just translate it to English. If you want to speak English, just treat it like your native language, because your native language is definitely a soft skill. When you are speaking in your native language, it's like you're not trying to think about it, right? You're just simply speaking it. And so treat English the same freaking way. Just think in it, right? In order to do that, of course, you need to practice. Of course, you need to listen. Of course, you need to consume information, but you want to do it actively. And then you'll get good at actually treating English like a soft skill instead of a hard skill. And so the last mistake you're making is that you're not focusing on pronunciation. So you probably have learned grammar rules. You probably know a lot of words in English, and that's good. But when it comes time to speaking, people can sense that you're not a native speaker, even if you say just one word, right? How? With your pronunciation, okay? I mean, of course, you don't want to be perfect in English. You don't want to perfect your English and become a perfectionist, but you definitely want to communicate the best way possible and you want other people to understand you. But if you have good vocabulary, good grammar, if you can articulate your thoughts, but your pronunciation is shitty, people will not understand you. Okay? So improving your pronunciation is more important than learning grammar or learning how to articulate yourself, because if you learn bad pronunciation in the beginning, it will stick with you. Okay? So even if you articulate your thoughts in a good way, but you still have bad pronunciation, you will articulate your thoughts with bad pronunciation for a very long time, right? So you want to improve your pronunciation because it will also help you sound professionally. If your pronunciation is bad and you can't really pronounce specific words, and people just don't understand you because of your pronunciation, then you will get really hard. And even native speakers struggle with it, okay? I'm not only saying about non-native speakers, even native speakers, especially like Irish or British, they have this kind of like a strange accent. And so American people, some of the American speakers, native speakers probably won't understand what you are trying to say sometimes. So you want to improve your pronunciation and get close to the American level accent. So when you do that, you will sound professional and people will trust you more as a result. And so these were the 5 mistakes you want to avoid if you want to speak fluent English. So let me know what you think about them in the comments. Let me know what's your biggest mistake that you're currently making right now and how you can avoid making it in the comments. And also subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.